of dailies, like World Quest dailies. And then,
I see you, little mouse.
I mean, the real thing that sucked about having to do all the BFA crap was, and not that it sucked, I actually didn't hate it at all, was just happened to play through all the zones and beat the war campaign twice.
Turn back, trespasser. Cease this madness.
Like, I actually had to get Lore Master for BFA. So that was obviously a lot of effort. And I've seen the war campaigns projected as being like 100 quests. A lot. Did do that twice.
Not to mention Purogatorium in itself while you were working on that, which is why you were working on that.
Yeah, various other things that had to be done in Duratar. That was one of the things. I completed like 2 different parts. Because the war campaign was like one part of Duratar that had to be completed, and then the other part was the Exalted Rep, which was like a whole different part. If it were only the Exalted Rep, I wouldn't have had to do the war campaign at all. I could have just not done the war campaign entirely. Like that was like completely dependent on a whole separate thing.
You force my hand again, little mouse. So be it. You've chosen to side with chaos. This is my world, and you shall obey
And
my order.
yeah, Exalted was just required to go all the way. So I don't think the Shadow Hunter quest line was unlocked until I got Exalted. Oh dude, remember how I had that theory about BFA where, not about BFA, but I noticed in BFA that there was, a lot of stuff after the Lore Master, like outside the zones. Lots of story happened afterwards. And then I was saying, the theory I wanted to mention was that basically I was like, I feel like Dragonflight followed that same trajectory, just like, I hypothesized that. So when I watched through all the lore stuff for Dragonflight, I can confirm. That theory is correct.
Yeah. It's not an awful.
Because I watched I pretty much skimmed through all the story that I had already done, and by the time because I have Lore Master for Dragonflight, so by the time I got to the part in the video that was like caught up with Lore Master, I was like 20 minutes into like an hour-long video. So I was like, okay, there's a lot of story that happens after, outside of the Lore Master.
I popped my big DPS with him, and then he did the phase where I can't damage him.
But it's definitely interesting because what that means is that simply getting the Lore Master achievement is actually like not a deterministic way to like experience the story of the game.
Yeah.
Now it probably is pretty good for the earlier expansions for sure, because there's not a lot of like post-story stuff.
Right.
But it seems like I can definitely say Missa Pandaria. Back to Missa Pandaria definitely has like post stuff that I know for sure that exists, because there's like zones in the game that they like added after the fact, like Thunder Isles and stuff like that. I don't know if Cataclysm does though. I don't think Cataclysm has like post story. I don't think it does. I'm pretty sure like the entire Cataclysm story is pretty much locked up in like the zones and then just the raid. Dragon Soul or whatever. Could be wrong, but I think it's probably Miss Appendary is when that kind of starts. And then I'd say that sentiment's probably pretty consistent throughout from that point forward. Yeah, are you gonna hurry up and kill the guy?
If he would stop doing these fucking vulnerability phases, he'd be dead by now.
Finally.
Irrelevant.
I watched you do that whole fight. I fell asleep 3 times.